So one of the biggest problems with people doing content today is they use what's called a cluster article concept, in which you have uh, the idea that they're trying to promote right in the center, and then it's surrounded by sub ideas. And this is something that I first learned back in 2015. Someone had written an article about cluster articles, and then how to rank a website using only cluster articles. And it was a technique that worked for many people. It did not work for me. But what I did, I modified the technique, but I started out finding out why cluster articles don't work, and at least why they were not working for me. Then I went ahead and modified the technique, and cluster articles I morphed the cluster articles into I don't know, branch articles perhaps. So this is my branch articles tutorial. If you have a website that you want to rank without backlinks, you just want to use content. This method of structuring your content and writing content and mainly planning your content will make it a lot easier and faster for you to rank, even if it's a moderately competitive keyword. If it's a highly competitive keyword, you might have to build backlinks, but I usually use this for affiliate websites, and it works exceptionally well because those are mainly information-driven websites. So before I get into the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I have tons of more articles, tons of more videos coming up in the next few days. I have another one coming up that would help people identify if they have been penalized by a Google Broadcore update or a regular update. Or if their website has just gone down because their competitors were doing a better job. So stay tuned for that tutorial as well. It's coming within the next 1 or 2 days. I'm just working on a few of the technical details of the video. So let's jump right into it. The biggest problem, now to start with, this is how a cluster article looks. It looks like a cluster, so cluster articles. The biggest problem with a cluster article is the structure does not tell Google what your website is about. Now, let's say we'll take SEO for instance, since we all do SEO and we have a pretty good understanding of what SEO is. So SEO is right at the center, and then around it we've got these topics. We've got link building, we've got content writing, we've got keyword research, we've got citations, GMBs, PRs. So all of this just directly links to SEO or has something directly linked to SEO, and all of these articles are around 1,500 to 2,000 words. Some are larger, and you're saying, okay, so what can Google see if this has something to do with SEO, which is after all in the center of the cluster? And no, Google does not understand that it's about SEO. Sure, the primary article that you've written and in your mind is about SEO, and all of these supporting articles are related to SEO, but why it confuses Google, because Google does not know if you're offering SEO information, if that's what your website does. If your website offers SEO services, do you offer like local SEO? Are you an authority in SEO? Are you trying to target a specific type of SEO service or type of SEO concept? Because what keywords you're using to describe your business or website has an effect on how Google sees it. But Google is also looking at what you're writing about. So, what categories you're targeting. And so if you target every category under the sun that's related to SEO, you're confusing Google. Google does not have any idea which box to put your content in and which box to categorize you. And with so many other websites who are using the same technique, outranking them is not going to be easy. So now with all this information missing, you can't rank. So using the technique that I will talk about comes in. Okay, so technically, this is how a cluster article looks. This is your typical cluster article. This is something I've discussed when we were on screen. This is not something that we want to do. The technique I have is a modified version of this, and here we go. So this is how I create topical authority, and this is how I do it the right way. And the reason why this is the right way is because if you look at how it's structured, it covers topics that are directly related to SEO, and then it covers topics that are directly related to SEO related topics. So this is not keyword. This is not like based on keywords, right? This is based on the topic, which is SEO. You don't have to go out and do keyword research for instance, SEO. So you don't have to do keyword research for the term SEO, and you don't have to do keyword research for when writing about the topic for SEO. You can do keyword research to optimize your content for the topic keyword SEO. But this is a structure that if you do your research on Google, you'll see that the two primary or the three primary points, which is if you look at this, it is three primary points for SEO, which is content, link building, and keyword research. So you'll start with, if you're using this technique, the first thing you'll do is you'll start with writing an article on SEO. This will be a generalized article about SEO, usually around 1,500 to 2,000 words. And then you will do another article which will be about content. This will be another 1,500 to 2,000 words. You'll have another article about link building, and you'll have another article about keyword research. And you'll throw these articles into three different categories. So if you're using WordPress, you'll make three different categories on your website, and you have a content, link building, and keyword research. Now, within each category, you'll have, for instance, for content, you'll have how to research content. You'll have an article about that. You'll have an article about how to write content. So you can write about how to use phrase to write optimized content, or how to use an AI content writer to write optimized content. And then the optimization process itself will also be is also an article that you'll write about. And you'll write about these articles, and then you will connect, or you will link back to the main article, which is content, and the main article will link to SEO. And the beauty of taking this approach is that you can also then further extend the branch, hence the branch technique. So you can further extend the branch, and you can write about the best way to how to do research for specific niches, and you can write about, for instance, how to do research for a roofing company or for a roofing blog, how to do write for a specific type of customer, how to create a customer profile, how to create a reader profile. So you can extend this further on beyond what a cluster article is capable of doing, and you can even cover topics that are on the outskirts of SEO. For instance, you can cover Black Hat SEO. You can also cover topics related to AI content writing, and you can have that hooked up to the content category. And then you can have a separate section or a category that's for link building, and then you have outreach, which will be an article, and then PBNs and crowd link building. So all of this will be linked. Now, if you look at this, I've structured this as a 3x3. So I start with three sub branches, and then I niche out to three additional sub branches. Now, what you can do, and this is depending on your content, is you can have 4 or 5 sub branches, and then you can have it, sub niche down and more detailed down. This is depending on your what your research shows is most effective, number one, and number two, do your research on what you're writing with. And this is where the authority comes in, because if you're an authority in what you're doing, Google says that you would know how to structure your content. And if you structure it correctly, you're telling Google that you're an authority because your content is structured so well and it's written so well that Google has to rank your content. Now, Once you've done all of this, the next question probably people will ask is, what if you're offering SEO services? Because this is something that you can use if you're using SEO service. Yes, you can, but using this structure will be then mainly for your blog posts. So this structure you can use for your blog posts. You can structure your blog posts using this method, or if you have a separate content section, you can use this method. And then on the front end, what you'll do is you'll use the reverse silo, and the reverse silo will be used for your home page, your services page, your blogs page, which will be directly linked to the SEO page, which is the main page in this case. So your main page will be, your main blog page will be SEO, and then you will sublink all of that. While on the commercial end, which is the non-informational and as I like to call it, you use a reverse silo, and you can then have links coming to your service pages from these pages that will bring in a lot of traffic, I'm pretty sure, and these will then also help your service pages rank. So in this case, the service will be keyword research, link building, content creation, blogs, and that's it. So this is just your reverse silo. I have a video on the reverse silo. I think it's called How to Rank for Difficult Keywords. Check out that video and set it up. If you're already set up with the reverse silo, you can just then work on the other half of this branch, which is branching all your content correctly. In terms of internal linking, you do not have to follow a specific rule. Just make sure that you're logically linking your content. So you can have, like, for instance, keyword research, a section within your keyword research article that links to optimization or an optimization related article, and you can just link to that. And since this is your website, if Google isn't looking to penalize you if you're using anchor text or keyword optimizing anchor text. So go ahead and use an anchor text and link to it if it makes sense. Use good linking technique. So as you can see, creating these branch articles are real quick and easy. You just have to start with a good understanding of your topic that you're trying to rank for, do your research, and create the categories around the topic, and then write good content, and you should have no problem ranking without getting backlinks. In fact, I have noticed that you will get backlinks organically, and you do not have to do any outreach. You do not have to buy any links. The links will come in organically if your content is good, it's well written, it adds value. So this is probably not the fastest way to rank, but in some niches you will be able to rank within a few months. But this is not the fastest way to rank because you're not controlling the backlinks coming in. But this is a very good way to rank if you're just a content writer, or if you have a budget and the budget is limited. Buying backlinks is expensive, but content is comparatively cheaper to do, and cheaper you can write it yourself if you're a writer, or you can hire someone to do it, and surfer optimize all of the content and add it to your website, and it will rank. And it will once you have the structure completed, the articles completed, they're indexed. Google is taking some time indexing, but once it's indexed, it'll start ranking. So folks, if you like the video, like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.